little light bulb. He got a group of people together and said, let's do an education center that includes the library, the high school, and Los Rios American River College. And it became, essentially, the education center became the early part of the North Thomas Town Center. And then as we build out retail and a little more of the dense community and finally get the transit out there, that center is there. The library itself was kind of a challenge because there was some money in the financing plan for the library, but as we designed it, it was to serve both the high school and the community college center and the public. It got bigger and bigger. And so we took advantage of the Library Construction Bond Act, the State Bond Act, and managed to get that grant and use that as well as the financing plan fees to build the library. Just an amazing coming together of a variety of sources.
Now, what was Ray's role in all that?
Well, he was on the library board at the time. He was also, you know, on the city council. He was a real big proponent of the town center and the notion of keeping that center, keeping the community place.
Razor, I love golfing. I think that would be something that I could take on. Never did one before and didn't know how to do one, so I figured, well, being an operations manager, at least I'll try and figure it out and do a decent job. And the first thing I found out is you need to raise funds to have a fundraiser, especially a golf tournament, because it costs like $15,000 to put on. So I was at a business mixer in Natomas, and I got a chance to get up and do a quick speech about the golf tournament, about Westlake Charter, and just praying that, you know, someone would step forward and, you know, help with this event, sponsor the event, what have you. And I got done, and the room was real quiet. I was like, uh-oh. But about 2 minutes later, Ray approached me, and in a boisterous voice, he says, I'll be your first sponsor. And it was pretty great because that's really what started the Westlake Charter School Golf Tournament.
And another thing which he cared a lot about, and I believe he was on the first board of the Natomas Basin Conservancy, which I think it's not as well known or as well appreciated as I think people will come to understand in the future. But for every acre of development in North Natomas, half an acre of habitat is set aside, and we have well over 4,000 acres now in permanent habitat. And Ray had a lot to do with making sure that the right habitat was purchased and that we had a good person in John Roberts being the executive director and being the steward of that. And he fought real hard to hold on to those trees on the Garden Highway as well, which we just finally got a reprieve from the Army Corps of Engineers to save the oaks on the Garden Highway.
It was really instrumental in spearheading and guiding this whole incredible build-out of the North Natomas area. If it hadn't been for Ray and his staff and really working with Carol Shirley and the whole planning department to make sure that this build-out went according to plan, and that was just, District 1 was the busiest district in the whole city, and Ray was there.
When the Fish and Wildlife Service, Fish and Game, both organizations can't say enough about the preservation that's happened and just the incredible variety of species that are living now on the preserved sites. It's amazing.
So definitely keep going with the parks. I mean, it's nice to see that there's a place where the original Fort Natomas was now. And so just to keep going with building all the parks, I mean, we have some really nice places in Natomas that I feel are kind of untapped. There's especially like the wildlife reserve, which I didn't even know was there for years and years. So I don't know, just to keep going with a very, I don't know, very happy spirited Natomas.
Yeah. Get everything approved and rebuilt it 5 months later, and it's there every day building. It's been there for probably every maintenance day and every build. And then three-peat, we got to redo it again in 2008.
I was 2 weeks old when it was first built, so I was with the first build, but both rebuilds I helped with.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first rebuild just helping my mom with food and all that, and then the second rebuild, I actually did my senior project in conjunction with it.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of volunteering at the second one, handing out tools, helping with food again, childcare, and then put on a little concert during the opening.
I've known him. And it's been a pleasure. I worked with him on the South Natomas Community Center kitchen. I volunteered to help design it. We ran into some snags, and it almost didn't happen.
We probably became the Friends of the North Natomas Library in 2004, so we've been in existence for about 6 years. At one point, I decided that we needed an emergency preparedness fair. So who do you call? You call your council member. And I called Ray, and Ray was right with it. He was so supportive. He provided contacts for us. So what Ray has been for the Friends of the Library is a real community contact, a real community support.
Fact that if it wasn't for Ray Thretheway, this teen center would not be here today. Ray was extremely pivotal in helping this come to reality. He joined us from the very beginning, working on the committee, helping us to figure out what we needed to do to make this teen center come true. We were concerned about fundraising at the time and wanted to hire a professional fundraiser, and Ray said, no, you don't need to do that. You have the capability, I have the capability. Let's work on this together and make it happen. And that's what did happen. And because of his ability to be very creative and very knowledgeable about resources, he was able to find what it was that we needed to make this happen. He has just a lot of special talents, and as I mentioned before, a lot of them not as appreciated as I think they should be. But he has left his mark. He has made a difference in this community, and people are going to feel that for generations.